Well, this morning's video is about Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and Senator Thomas Massie. There was an article on Bongino Report this morning, and I think it was Just the News that was reporting it. These three have all decided to get together, and they've decided they're going to start a new political party. And each one of these people have been in disagreement with Donald Trump, and primarily because of this situation going on in Iran. And ever since that all three of these people started their anti-Trump point of view, I've been trying to figure out just what exactly is going on with these three. And I'm not saying that I completely understand now what's going on with them, because they came out quite a while ago, all three of them, and they were saying Donald Trump made promises that he wasn't going to get in foreign wars overseas. He's going to stay away from that. He's not going to do it. And he said this all through his campaign, but then once he got reelected, he's been there for a little over 2 years now, and all of a sudden, he's going against these promises that he made, that he said he wasn't going to get himself involved in wars, and now he's involved in them. So now, because he's gone and done that, we're upset, and he's a liar, and he's this, and he's that, and awful, terrible human being, awful, terrible president of the United States. So now we're going to get together and we're going to start a whole new party. And if I'm remembering right, to make sure I've got my facts right, I believe that it's Tucker Carlson that first made the statement that they were going to try to start a new party, and then Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie have joined him, and all three of them believe it's time for a new political party. And they're basing it on Donald Trump claiming that he wasn't going to get involved in any wars, and then he lied and turned right around and got into this war with Iran. So when they first started saying this, I remember Trump, during his campaign rallies, he was saying that I didn't get in any wars before, and I'm not going to get in any wars now, and I have no intentions of it. Elect me as president. And for a while, I kind of was buying into what Massie, Carlson, and Greene were saying, that, well, Trump had made these, declarations of no war. And now he is. And, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. But then I started hearing other people speak, and this is what I do, right? When I hear something, I form an opinion. And when I first heard these three saying the things that they were saying, I was like, well, maybe they've got a little bit of ground there, but I don't know if it's enough for them to want to break away from Trump and not continue supporting MAGA. I can understand them being upset, but, and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. But recently, I've been hearing people say about Trump, when he was running for re-election, during these rallies, at the same time that he was saying, I'm not going to get involved in any foreign wars, there was something else that he was saying that Thomas Massie, Tucker Carlson, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, they don't happen to mention in their rhetoric. And that is that Donald Trump, in I think almost every rally that he had, he would mention 2 or 3 times throughout his 2-hour, 3-hour rallies that he would have, not only I'm not going to get involved in any wars over there, but he also made it very clear, I will not tolerate Iran having nuclear bombs. Now, really think about this. Really think about it. He said this not only in this campaign, but in his first campaign he was saying it. It wasn't quite as much in his first campaign back in 2015-16. But in his second and then third campaigns, he most certainly did. It was one of his main points. I am not going to let Iran have nuclear bombs. So what I'm trying to figure out here is, now reflecting on everything that Trump said and now clearly understanding what he meant, he was saying that he was not going to get into a war with any country, because remember, Hillary was making the claim and all the people on the left were saying Trump's going to get us into a war and we're going to have nuclear war and we're all going to die and the world's going to come to an end because of Donald Trump. And that isn't what Trump's intentions ever was. He never wanted war. I don't think he wants war now. But when it comes to Iran, it's not that he's making an exception to the rule. He clearly said, I'm not going to cause any wars between America and another country, and I'm not going to get in the middle of any wars like what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. He just stays out of it. The only thing he does is I think he provides Zelensky there in Ukraine with certain weapons and stuff every now and then. Sells it to them. Now, when Trump is going into Iraq and stopping them from having nuclear bombs, that's not exactly a war. He's stopping them from having nuclear bombs so that there isn't a real bad war somewhere. Because if Iran has nuclear bombs, they will declare war on Israel and any other country that they have a problem with, but primarily Israel. And as far as we're concerned, we don't want any nuclear wars going on anywhere on the planet. And this is exactly what Trump's whole point was. We've got to try to stabilize peace. And you can't have stabilized peace if you have an Iran with nuclear bombs, which is exactly the point he was making during those rallies leading up to his re-election. So I'm going to make the statement right now that Tucker Carlson, Thomas Massie, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, all three are kind of basing their prime directives on a falsehood. They're claiming that Trump is, making war with Iran, and he's not. That's not what his intentions are at all. He's trying to get them to comply to what the world wants. It ain't just us, but the whole world does not want that country to have nuclear bombs. There's a difference between keeping a country from having weapons of mass destruction and a war. There is a difference. And when Trump was making those declarations, so to speak, during his campaign, he was saying, I don't want to have war, but he wasn't ruling out military use to prevent Iran from having nuclear bombs. Now, I think that what Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and Thomas Massie all have in common, I think this goes a little deeper than what I've just been speaking of. I think what happens is, okay, for example, I remember when Trump got reelected, and Tucker admitted it. He said, I helped Donald Trump get elected. I told all my audience we need to support Trump and keep MAGA going and all this other stuff. But then he wound up saying, I regret doing it. I mean, that's Tucker's choice. If that's how he feels, thinks, believes, I mean, he has the right to believe whatever he wants. And because he did that, then all of a sudden him and Trump are no longer getting along. They were getting along very well. They were almost like a coalition, but now, no, they're opposites. They don't like each other anymore. Okay. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, it was kind of the same thing. This is what's really confusing me when it comes to her. She too was going to those rallies and listening to Trump speak, and she heard him say the difference between war and keeping Iran from having nuclear bombs. She understood his distinction, and yet now she's saying, well, he lied to us. He said he wasn't going to do this, and now he is. No, because he said he was going to do this if it became necessary, and it did. Meaning, if Iran behaves itself, we'll leave them alone. But if they start producing nuclear weapons and it looks like they're going to be having a nuclear weapon, I'm militarily going to step in and stop them. And that's exactly what he did. He did exactly what he said. He didn't lie. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, Tucker Carlson, and Thomas Massie, 3 people that I think totally and completely understood what Donald Trump was saying when he was saying it during those rallies. And for some reason now, he's spinning it around, and they are spinning it around, and twisting it into, well, Trump said he'd have no wars, and now he lied. This is a falsehood. This is wrong, and I don't understand why they're doing it. The only thing I can figure is they're using it as a reason to break away from him. That's what it's been right from the beginning of their disagreement with Trump. And now I think they're upset with Trump for whatever their reason is, which I think it's that reason. I think Trump, when he got to Washington, he didn't get them highly involved after he got elected. He didn't pick each one of them to run something for him. You know, he just thought that he had their support, and that's what he thought the understanding of their relationship was going to be. It wasn't going to be anything more than that. Just, you know, you're going to be loyal followers of me, and you're going to promote my MAGA movement. And they decided that they didn't get what they wanted out of that deal. They wanted more, and when Trump didn't give it to them, now all of a sudden they're sour and upset. And because they're sour and upset, they're going to say, you know, well, that damn Trump, he lied and he did this. Well, now, in this article that I read on Bongino this morning, they're taking it a step further. Now they want to try to divide the MAGA movement. And they want to try to get people to pull away from MAGA and get into this movement that they're trying to do. And now, they have every right to do it. I'm not saying that they don't. I mean, this is America. You're free to choose. You're free to do what you want. And if this is what their prime directive is, I don't know. But I think it's because they got upset with Donald Trump because Donald Trump didn't bring them to Washington. I think each one of them, Tucker and Marjorie and Tom Massie, they all thought that, okay, we're going to show support for President Trump. And they did. And then after they did, they thought that they were supposed to get something in return. Like, I don't know if they thought that they were going to get high cabinet positions or something. But they thought that Trump would bring them to Washington. And Trump didn't. All he did was maintain his friendship with them. And I think he tried to show appreciation here and there for their support by saying good things about them. And that wasn't enough for Tucker, Marjorie, and Thomas. They decided, well, we're not getting what we want, so now we're going to start bad-mouthing him. And now they've taken it to the next level. Now we're going to combine forces and we're going to try to build a new political party. And again, they're more than welcome to. You go ahead. I just don't think that they're going to get a lot of support. They're going to get some, because there are some people that are buying into what they're saying. But I can tell you right now, this old bird right here, I'm not buying into that. I'm not. I like Tucker. Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've never really been a big fan of. I got to be honest with you. I never have. Even when she was a big Trump supporter, I always had this what's the word I'm looking for? I wasn't totally on board with her. I didn't mind it that she was supporting Trump. I thought that was a good thing. She was, earning a little bit of respect from me because of that. But there was just something about her that just, I don't know, it just didn't rub right with me for some reason. Thomas Massie, on the other hand, I've always liked him, and I still like him now. I just think that he's really making some bad choices. And again, all three of these people, Tucker, I used to listen to his show all the time. I don't listen to him now, and it's not in protest. I'm not boycotting him or nothing. It's just that for some reason he's really gone to limits that I wouldn't go. I mean, all right. For example, I have a disagreement with Donald Trump on something, one thing, right? And I think he even admits to it that I'm right in the disagreement I have with him. When COVID was going on, when it all started, remember when the country all got shut down? Trump made a decision and basically told all of the 50 states, it's up to you, governors of those states. It's up to you whether you want to close your state down or not. That's up to you. It's not federal level decision to make. It's yours. And when he did that, I know that if I had been president, I may have been reluctant to do that, because I know red states run by Republican governors 9 times out of 10 would have made the right choice to do the right things for their state. But the blue-run states or the Democrat-run states, whatever could be done wrong, you can count on Democrat governors to make those bad decisions and choose those wrong things to do. And they did. They absolutely did. Children that were going to school had to stay home all that time. And, I mean, look at the damage that it done. Kids that should have been at a certain level of math and reading and writing and English and all of that stuff, they all went backwards. They went backwards. And they're still lagging behind now because of it. It isn't that people aren't trying to change that, but still, I mean, the devastation that happened because of that. And I really think that President Trump made a mistake when he allowed states to shut down. He shouldn't have done it. He made a mistake, okay? But that doesn't mean that, well, because he made that mistake, that's it, I got to cut all ties from him. I mean, come on now. When Trump did what he didn't do it because he wanted all that bad stuff to happen. He was only doing, I think, what he thought was right. And I'll be honest with you, I think he's smart enough that he should have made a better decision, but he didn't. Okay? So it's a shame on you. All right. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to support all of his other policies. He has policies that I like. All right? And on that one thing that happened, he'd never been president before. He'd never been making decisions like that before. And what president has gone through that White House doors and not made some kind of mistake like that? And what I'm doing is I'm trying to give him a benefit of the doubt, even though I still think he was in the wrong. Okay? And that wrong that he did was a bad wrong. I think it was pretty bad. But that doesn't mean that I've got to disconnect from him and distance myself from him and start going right over to the Democrat Party and supporting them and their policies. No way. I'll take a bullet in the head before I'll ever do that. I like right-wing policies. Even if a Republican makes a mistake here or there, if they make a mistake, their policies are still good. If one individual person does an individual thing wrong, well, then it's between them and their God, not me. All I care about is I want right-wing policies. That's what I want. So anyways, that's my video for today, and I hope you guys really think about what I'm talking about here as far as Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Thomas Massie. I agree with their politics from the past. I don't know where they're standing now because I haven't been listening to them, but I always agreed with them up until they had this disagreement with Trump. And if they all still have the same policies that they believe in, then I'm still okay with them. But this division that they have with Trump, and now this wanting to start a new political party, I'm not on board with it. I'm not. I am not on board with it at all. I really think that what they're doing is bad for MAGA. They have the right to do it. I'm not saying they don't have the right to. All I'm saying is the choice that they're making is going to be very hurtful to the MAGA movement. And I think the MAGA movement, I hope it remains strong, and this has no effect on it at all. And that's my personal position. Okay, I've really rambled on here, my God, for almost 22 minutes. I want to thank you for staying on board through the whole thing, if you did. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and definitely on this one, on all of my videos, please comment. When I get up in the morning and I have my coffee, one of the first things I do is I go right to YouTube and see if anybody has left comments, and if they have, I get on there and I try to answer any questions, or if someone makes a statement, I defend my position of whatever my video was about, and I enjoy conversation. I really do. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I will catch you tomorrow in my next video. Today is August 4th. Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. Looks like we're going to have a nice day. And I hope you have a nice day too. We'll catch you next one. We're gone.